Alright, got everything all set up. Beautiful day outside. Good morning, folks. Happy Sunday. And to those that it applies to, happy Father's Day. Hope everyone's having a great day. Man, I'm just absolutely loving it here. Got a 4-day weekend, day 3 of it. So, what better way to do? Tell some prison stories, entertain my viewers. I mean, that's what you guys have come here, right? Everyone likes hearing prison stories, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to continue on with the series TDCJ Good Inmates Gone Bad. Now, I got a couple of comments in a few of the other videos. Some individuals were trying to educate me that all inmates are bad, and you know, you're not wrong. However, you're not all right as well. My favorite one was, "What is wrong with you? All inmates are bad." Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, they are. Nobody ends up in TDCJ Maximum Security Penitentiary, especially Mark W. Stiles unit, motherfucking Stiles, in Beaumont, Texas, for singing bad at the church choir. Okay? They all did some kind of weird, nasty, heinous, absolutely heinous crime. Okay? I accept that. I don't care that there are innocent individuals that are in there. It's not me. Alright? So, with that said, not all encounters with inmates were bad. I've already addressed that issue. I've already commented on it multiple times. You know, a lot of times it was just two ships passing in the night. Other times, there were a lot of positive interactions, aka the ones that cooked the food for me. I didn't have any problem with those guys. Homie that cut my hair, man, that dude would tighten it up high and tight, go on around the side. They couldn't have a razor, couldn't have scissors, but with those clippers, man, those guys were good. I didn't have to pay nothing for it. I'm paying goddamn $20 out here in the free world for a haircut. I didn't have to pay that guy nothing. Okay? So, there were some positive encounters. This particular tale is going to stem from a trustee who I didn't have any problems with at first, but I did later on. Okay? Paint a little backstory here. PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act. When I hired on in 2013, PREA wasn't a thing. If you get ready to... Got ready. Wow. Man. You guys are getting the raw, unedited version here. If you wanted to pat an inmate down, you pulled him out of the line. Inmate, get naked. Everything that he had on, took it off. He'd stand there butt naked in front of God and everyone. I don't have the camera set up, but we called it the TDC spin. He'd throw his head in the air, stick his tongue out, spin, lift up both of his feet, give him his clothes, and he'd go on. When you patted an inmate down, you were supposed to go down the arms, down the torso, up the back, down each one of the legs, head back, tongue out, make sure there's nothing in there. Lift up the nutsack, cough. All right? We didn't do it in closets. We didn't do it in corners. I'd do it right outside of the chow hall. Looking back, that was really degrading. Yes, inmates, okay, yeah, they do a lot of bad shit. They're still human beings, okay? They really are. And to have another grown man strip naked in front of another grown man and examine him, I haven't done it myself, been in the one being stripped down that way, but I can only imagine just how degrading that could be and how humiliating it could be to some. Some, they didn't care. Man, they come out of the chow hall, when they saw Bossman Carter standing there, thrust vest and everything, beam tool hanging off the belt, ready to go, man, dude would already start taking his clothes off. Wow, that sounds kind of like the makings of another kind of video that I'm not going to get involved in. So, they knew Boss Carter was going to strip somebody out. Okay, I didn't have any problems with it. Policy was policy, and I was the enforcer. Okay, I was not a popular officer with the inmates when it came time to searches. With me, strip search only. All right. Fast forward to late 2014, early on into 2015, PREA had come out. PREA made all kinds of changes. It was basically, it was an act that was invoked to stop rape in prison. Basically, inmates raping other inmates. And one of the things that stemmed from it was officers that were allowed to strip search inmates anywhere, everywhere inside the facility. If I strip this guy out and he's naked, the dude that's about 10 other guys down, that might turn him on. He might get excited about that and get ready to do something to somebody. Okay? Just the sight of another naked man would turn this individual on. So, one of the ways of cutting down on that, we couldn't just strip out inmates anytime we wanted to. All right? So, yeah, it was a good thing because it did stop some of that. And it took a lot of authority away from guys that wanted to just arbitrarily strip dudes out and humiliate them. There were a lot of COs. I worked with a lot of them who would strip guys out, not because they thought that they had anything on them that they needed to search them. I always did it when they were coming out of the chow hall. I'd find sacks of peanut butter, sacks of fluid. I won't say what the fluid was. Just food being smuggled out. Okay, that was the place to get it with the guys coming out. And I was pretty good at that shit. So, I had a job to do. They had a job to do. I did my job. So, other guys, they do it just for the hell of it. And would just absolutely humiliate these guys. And it made our job really tough. Guy coming out, getting ready to get searched down. He'd had a negative experience with this guy. Now here I am trying to do my job. Man, sometimes the fight would be on. And I didn't have a problem with it. I had my stab vest. I didn't use my spray very much, but that beam tool that was just supposed to open up metal slots, it might have come in contact with some human flesh more than once. Okay? Like I said, got a job to do. So, this particular situation, let's rewind. I'm a rookie CO, barely just getting off OJT, passing through the hallway. As I'm going past that area, there's 3 trustees. They need to get patted down so they can move on. As I'm getting ready to go by, hey, boss man, hey, can you go ahead and search me down, man? I need to get going. They were trying to get onto there. So, the boss that was sitting at the desk who was supposed to do the pat down, she was on the phone with somebody. It was an internal comms phone. She was on the phone with somebody, I don't know who. She hadn't patted these guys down, and they needed to get to go where they were working. Okay, all 3 of those guys worked inside the law library. They couldn't go till they got patted down. Okay, she wasn't doing her job. Big fucking surprise there, lazy ass. So, they were asking me, could I go ahead and pat them down? Sure thing, no problem. Y'all go ahead and strip down for me. And I remember one dude looking at me. Older white guy. I think he might have been in his 50s. Dark hair. Just normal looking dude. Didn't really have any problems with him. The glasses that he wore, okay, the glasses that they manufacture at TDC, think back to, and it's difficult for a lot of younger viewers, think back to the 1960s, late 1950s, the glasses that men wore, okay? Look at some older movies, older guys. It's got the black frame going across, black over the top, no rim on the bottom, okay? They had those, and they had the really thick plastic ones, what we call the BCGs. Birth control goggles, birth control glasses. Why the fuck were they called that? That was the ugliest pair of glasses you could have on your face. You didn't have to worry about no freaking female, male, anybody's species having any kind of sexual contact relation with you while you were wearing those BCGs. Alright? So if you don't want to get laid, go get some of those BCGs. They're not that hard to find. So, this dude was wearing that pair of glasses, and that's kind of what stuck out at me. I didn't say anything to him. So, I told him to strip up. And the guy says to me, he had a real deep, just deep sounding voice, like he had been smoking unfiltered Camels and just gargling with rocks and whiskey. I'm not even gonna try to imitate his voice. Miss Carter, Miss Carter, hey, can we go in the other room there? Nah, man. Strip out. Hey, man, I'm just trying to go into the library. Man. Hey, you ain't going nowhere till you get naked. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Dude strips out. Okay. Hands me his clothes. I pat him down, have him do the old TDCJ spin. Goes from there. All right. Gave them their clothes back. They went on about their day. Cool. I went on to where I was supposed to go. There were a couple of times when I was running utility that you get assigned different places throughout the penitentiary. A couple of times I'd end up in the law library. And all you really had to do was just watch the trustees that were in there. Guys would come in, they'd read books, study, take notes, pause for hydrate. All right. Take notes, try to study up on their case, see if they could get themselves a lighter sentence. I don't really know what the trustees were supposed to do in there. I never asked, but I know they were assigned to work there. And I saw the guy a couple of times, and the dude was always civil to me. Hey, Mr. Carter, how you doing? You remember me? Hey, you stripped me out that time. Yeah, I remember you. I didn't at the time, simply because I'd stripped out so many inmates. It was impossible to remember all of them. By the third time that I worked in the law library, I started remembering the dude, and I never had problems with him. He'd come over to me, he'd talk to me. We had a desk that we would sit at. Okay, working law library was a pretty chill gig because it actually had air conditioning, and there was a desk you could sit down at. And you just supervised inmates. I never had trouble in there. And he'd come over to me, and he'd talk to me here and there, and he'd always remind me, You remember me, Bossman? Remember you stripped me out? Yep. Yeah, I remember you, man. For the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could. He didn't have a violent charge. A lot of the offenders that were in Styles, actually, damn near all of them, were in there for some kind of violent charge. This guy was a non-violent offender. I think he might have even been in there because the GIST unit, G-I-S-T, GIST, whichever, was full up, and that's why he was over in the Styles. And I want to say for every day that he did there, he was getting an extra day off of his sentence. So he was just waiting his time out. All right. We'd have some civil conversations here and there. Hey, where are you working at now, boss? Where you get assigned? I'm in SEG. SEG? Oh, man, what'd you do to get put over in that place, man? You piss off the warden or some shit? Said, nah, man, I requested it. You requested SEG? Hey, man, you's a crazy fucker, man. You going in there? And he just kind of laugh and start chuckling. You know, just two guys just shooting the shit, just, busting each other's balls. No problems, no nothing. Okay. Let's fast forward to the time that I finally had the problem with the guy. All right. He's in medical. The one thing that SEG didn't have, it had everything else. Its own property room, chow hall. The one thing it didn't have was its own medical. Okay. 11 building was medical. Anybody that had to go to the infirmary, you had to take them, you had to escort them. You needed 2 utility bosses. We took them through. We take them down that long, dark corridor. That was like the one place that there weren't cameras at. And I can 100% promise you there were plenty of times inmates got tuned up in that area. Did I ever do it? Nope. Normally, if you had a squirrely inmate and he was acting up, when you got down that hallway there in medical, they stopped acting up. They knew damn well what was going to go on there. A lot of, let's just say there were vacancies that came in the prison down in that hallway. I mean, it happened. So, we're escorting an inmate down medical. All right. Get down to the end of the hallway, buzz the door, we go in, and I see the dude in there. He looks at me. I looked at him, and he nodded. I gave him one of those. Got my hand on the guy. Mr. Carter, hey, you remember me, man? You stripped me out. And I looked at him. I was like, dude, how many times are you going to fucking remind me of that shit? You know how many dudes I've stripped out in here, man? Dude, shut the fuck up, dude. I was having one of those days, and I just kind of put my head down. And the dude lost it. Okay? Started yelling, hollering. He was standing by, you know that weird shaped seat that's in the dentist office that you sit in? It's almost kind of like a weird recliner. They had those in there. Dude was standing by that, and he just starts yelling, hollering. And I looked over at him, and when I did, I had my hand on the guy's arm. And when I looked at him, I felt pull. I looked, and this inmate was starting to pull at me. My partner had let him go, had walked away. Wasn't supposed to do that. Supposed to be two of us hands on. Partner had let go and walked away, and he starts trying to get away from me. So I turn and I put my other hand on the guy's arm, okay? And I'm holding on to him. Dude with the BCGs comes up behind me, wraps his elbow around my neck, so I've got him by the arm. Arm goes around my neck, pulls on me. I let go of this guy, and as I do, now I'm in a tussle with this dude, okay? He's got his arm around me, his other arm. He couldn't hardly get it around because I had my stab vest on. All right? And now the struggle's going on. He's squeezing against my neck. Nurses, they're screaming and hollering. I don't know where my partner was. The other guy that got away from me, he was hand restrained. He had his hands behind his back. Okay, and now me and this guy are tussling. All right, he's got me by the throat. He pulls me back, and I'm twisting, I'm turning. I ended up doing the stupidest thing. You can't see my leg, but picture yourself lifting up your leg and stomping on the floor. Okay, one of the things you can do if you turn your foot 90 degrees and you go back at somebody's leg and you stomp down, you scrape the boot heel down their leg and you end up stomping on the arch of the foot. Okay, that's one of those real good ones. If somebody gets you from behind, you can do that, and it worked out in this case. I didn't actually intend to do it. It just kind of happened that way because that was my instinct. So I foot stomped this dude. He loosened up his grip. I was able to reach up, grab, and if you turn your head, tuck your chin. Somebody's got their arm around you. Turn and tuck your chin. You can basically start burrowing your face down into him. I had my glasses on. Glasses all fucked up at that point. Got my face down in his elbow, burrowed my head down, and dude let go after that. Okay, he stepped back, threw his hands up. I'm done. Just over and over and over again. I'm done. All right. Typically, we call that a TDC drive-by. What would happen? You're doing your thing. Inmate's walking by. Inmate slaps you right upside the face, turns around, puts his hand behind his back. If I start beating him, if I start tooling him up, put the boots to him, that's on me. Excessive force. A lot of guys would do that when they wanted to change a housing. They requested it. They couldn't get it. They come up, they slap a boss, turn around, hands behind the back. Assault on an officer. Instant trip to the freaking SIG. All right, they'd be reclassified. So they always had their own individual reasons for it. I don't know if this guy had any kind of beef with somebody going on, or if I just touched the last nerve by basically effing him off about stripping him down. But yeah, dude came at me. I got away. He stopped. I had my pepper spray out. We carried it in the center pocket inside of our vest. I don't have the vest anymore. I'd show you. The spray had come out. At that point, my partner had come over, gotten in the guy's face. He starts yelling, hollering at him. Caught my breath. Okay, I don't even know where the inmate was. We were supposed to be supervising at that point. I know that radio calls had come out, use of force. It wasn't too long. The whole freaking infirmary was flooded with guys in gray. Man, supervisors were jumping out of the ceilings, just rappelling down from ropes. Anytime there was a use of force, especially if infirmary was involved, man, the whole freaking unit was going to start responding. That's where knives, scalpels, chemicals, all that kind of shit was kept. So, partner got in on the guy, got him turned around, restrained him, took him away. The rest of it was kind of a blur at that point. Even though it was air conditioned, I was sweaty, I was nasty. I had to fill out a use of force statement. I had to go through the whole speech spiel. Okay. Dude ended up back in SEG. I saw him a couple other times. He ended up getting transferred to another unit. I think he ended up going to the Supermax. What's that? Gib Lewis. I think it's in Woodville. He ended up going to the Supermax. I did see him a couple of times in SEG from there. And anytime I'd come down the door and I'd bang on it, hey, you want shower? You want rec? Hey, fuck you, man. Got it. The easy day for me. Just one other guy I don't have to pull out. So, that's the story on that, man. I don't know what set the guy off, but I was his sounding board, and could have gone a lot worse than it did. You know, once I got free, he just gave up. So that's the story on that. Anyway, folks, hope you guys are having a good rest of your day. Take care. I'll see everyone in the next video.